Have you ever felt like the odd one out at a Super Bowl party? Or maybe you just can't seem to get into the whole sports thing when it feels like everyone else is going crazy over it? Well, today we're going to dig into the psychology of exactly that. Why some people just don't like sports. You know the scene, right? You're in a room, everyone's glued to the TV, screaming and cheering, and you're the only one who just doesn't feel it. It can definitely make you feel like this question is hanging in the air, even if no one says it out loud. Don't care about sports? What's wrong with you? Well, if you've ever felt that kind of social pressure, I'm here to put your mind at ease. Because when you look at the psychological research, the answer to that question is really clear, really simple, and honestly, super validating. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. So, to really understand why, we've got to start with a big idea: identity. Let's talk about what it means to have an identity without a jersey, and dig into why some people just don't need to root for a team to have a strong sense of who they are. Now, what's fascinating here is that sports fandom is like a perfect example of something called social identity theory. The basic idea is that a huge part of who we think we are comes from the groups we belong to. And for a lot of people, a sports team gives them this powerful sense of community, of belonging, of shared identity. And this is where we see two totally different paths emerge. For sports fans, their identity gets a boost from the group. That shared pride when the team wins, that feeling of loyalty. But for non-fans, that sense of self is more often built from the inside out. It's grounded in personal values, mastering a skill, or chasing internal goals. So the key takeaway here is that it's not a lack of identity. It's just a different source code for it. It's an identity that doesn't ride the roller coaster of a cheering crowd. As the source material puts it so well, they don't need a jersey to know who they are. Okay, so if it's not about a weak identity, then what's going on? Well, that internally driven identity is directly connected to our brain chemistry. We're talking about the brain's reward system and how different people get that little hit of dopamine. See, it's not about a lack of passion, it's about having totally different triggers. Everybody's brain is wired to chase that feel-good chemical, dopamine, but we don't all get it from the same place. The sports-driven brain loves those quick, intense spikes from the anticipation, the rivalry, the sheer spectacle of it all. But for others, dopamine is more of a slow burn. It comes from the long-term satisfaction of really mastering something, or the quiet thrill of getting lost in your curiosity, or that intense reward you get from deep, focused work. This difference in how we get our dopamine fix leads us right into our third point, this idea of efficiency and inner focus. It really comes down to the subconscious logic of where we decide to spend our emotional energy. It's so easy to look at someone who isn't screaming at the TV and just call it apathy. You might think they're detached or just don't feel things as strongly. But psychology tells us that's a huge misunderstanding. It is not apathy. What it really is emotional efficiency. I mean, think about it. Sports fans pour a massive amount of emotional energy into something they have literally zero control over. For some people's brains, that's just a bad deal. If you can't influence the outcome, why would you tie your own happiness to it? It's actually a surprisingly logical way to operate. And this way of thinking extends to social settings too. Most of us get a nice little psychological boost from feeling the same way as everyone else in the room, but non-fans often have a higher tolerance for being, a little out of sync with the group. They're okay not feeling that collective high, which points to a stronger sense of self and less of a need to just fake it to fit in. So what does this all add up to? Let's take these pieces, the internal identity, the different brain rewards, that emotional logic, and let's reframe what the profile of a non-sports fan actually looks like. One of the final key ingredients is a pretty simple preference for depth over spectacle. Look, sports are fast, they're loud, they're designed for these big emotional highs. But some people are just wired to be more drawn to ideas, to systems, to creativity, to personal growth. Things that usually require a bit more quiet, reflective thought. And that right there gives us the complete picture, what we can call the independent thinker profile. These are people who value having control over their emotional state. They have a strong, internally validated sense of who they are. They often prefer depth over spectacle. And really, it all boils down to this. They just prioritize what's meaningful in life a little differently. So let's just put those old myths to bed once and for all. Not liking sports doesn't mean you're antisocial or boring or that you're emotionless. It simply means your brain is wired to find meaning and control and reward in a different, but no less valid way. And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on. If our brains can be wired so differently for something as huge and culturally dominant as sports,
What other common assumptions that we make about people every single day should we probably be questioning too?